Today we're making Jamaican Jerk Oxtail. I went to my local grocery store, and if they actually cut meat there, right, not like Aldi or Walmart, but if you go to one that has a butcher shop, if they have oxtail, ask if you can get oxtail cut your own way. I asked for these to be about 1.5 inches thick, and that's exactly what they did. They cut these things 1.5 inches thick. The ones they had on the shelf were about 3/4 of an inch thick. So it gives you these nice, meaty oxtail, and you can see we have everything from these really large ones to small pieces here. There's a lot of meat on these. This is what you kind of want. Now, I plan on doing this for about 3 pounds. I have a little closer to 4 pounds here just because of the way they packaged them up. That'll work just fine. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna trim these up before we wash them. We wanna trim some of this fat off here. If you look at this, you can see there's a pretty thick amount of fat here. We don't want them to be without fat. We just want some of the thicker stuff off. Now, if it's thin, that's great, by the way. This will cook down and be absolutely tender and delicious. Just cut off any that looks almost more like silver skin or grizzle. You want to get rid of that if you can. Now, I'm okay with this stuff here that's less than 1/4 of an inch thick because we're going to cook this low and slow and long, and it's going to render that fat out. Now, once you trim these up a little bit and get some of that fat off of there, you want to go ahead and get all of these washed. I'm going to trim all these first, and the way we're going to wash these, and I won't bother showing this on the video, but we're going to take this with a little bit of vinegar and water, and we're going to rub them together in a bowl full of water with vinegar in it, and then we're also going to do just rinse that out a few different times to just cleanse the meat real good. We just want to kill any bacteria that might be on it. And again, I think if you're getting this from a reputable place, it's probably okay, but I think this falls in that category of better safe than sorry. Through the miracle of editing, let me get all these cut and trimmed, and then I'll show you what they look like. All right, to save a little time, I went ahead and trimmed all these up, and these were actually really pretty good. That's all I have. It's maybe 1/3 of a pound, 1/2 pound of fat. It's not bad at all. I'm gonna take these tails now. Now, when you get this cut at a butcher shop, you're gonna get everything from these large, meaty pieces to the very narrow ends of the tail. That's all right. We're just gonna drop them all in our bowl, and I'm gonna take these in and wash them up. I know in Jamaica, one of the very common things is they'll take a half of a lemon or a lime and essentially just rub it all over the meat before they rinse it with cold water. That works also. All right, so I've taken the oxtail inside. I went ahead and filled this bowl up with some cold water and lemon juice. I went ahead and massaged these all, rubbed all sides of the tails, including the bone, and let them soak in that acidic water. I then took each one out, rubbed it underneath the cold water, put them down in the sink, filled them back up into this bowl, ran water in it, and dumped it out 3 times. And what you can see is we've certainly lost a little bit of that bright red color. That's perfectly fine, but we've cleaned these. We've removed any possible bacteria off of it. And again, this is a tail of an animal, so people tend to be a little bit more sensitive about this part than others, but this is absolutely meat on the bone, and you can see it. There's all the red meat. So now we're gonna go ahead and do our marinade. Now listen, you watch videos on this, you can see how to make your own green sauce, how to make your own jerk seasoning, etc. I'm gonna cheat. I'm just using this Walker's Wood mild jerk. This is actually a Jamaican honey jerk. So my dad and I both like it a little bit less spicy, so this one will be just a bit less spicy. I'm also going to use a little bit of browning in this, and a browning is essentially, you can make this. You basically just put some oil and brown sugar and put it in the bottom of a pan and slowly cook it until it turns brown. That's what it actually is. That will thicken it and give it that amazing dark Jamaican oxtail stew sort of color. I'm going to put in a bit of soy sauce in this, and then I like to do a couple of extra seasonings. Certainly you can use fresh as well. When we actually cook this, we're going to put tomatoes and fresh garlic in it, but for now, I'm going to sprinkle a bit of ginger. I almost said German. We're going to sprinkle in a bit of ginger, and we're going to use some allspice. Now, it's important that you know allspice is ground pimento berries. Make sure that's what you have and not some kind of a blend for example, Halloween pies. Just make sure you know what it is. I'm just using ground because I didn't want to buy the whole pimento berries for something we'll make one time here at this location. Ooh, it smells good with the honey in it. I've never had that. So I'm just gonna pour some of this in here. We probably want about 1/2 cup or so in this marinade. And I've used 3/4 of that jar with this. That's okay. I'm now gonna put in about 2 tablespoons of browning. Now I'm also gonna put about 1 tablespoon of this in when I cook it as well. There's 1, 2. That's just gonna help with that color. We want it to be that nice, dark, sort of chocolatey brown color. I'm also gonna put in a bit of soy sauce, really just about 2 tablespoons or so. Ground pimento berries, or what they call allspice, is an absolute Caribbean sort of smell and flavor to me. So I'm gonna pour some of this in here, probably about 1.5 teaspoons, and I'm gonna do about 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. Now, not a great way to do this without making a mess, so we're just gonna go ahead and massage these all together here. What we wanna do is get these nice and coated in this jerk seasoning. And that's what we wanna see, like they're all nice and covered in it. I think that's good. And there's definitely some of that fluid in the bottom. That's perfect. We want that because we're gonna use that later. All right, with this all mixed up, I'm just gonna go ahead and put some saran over the top of this and pop it in the fridge. All right, so 3 hours have gone by. Our oxtail have been sitting in the fridge, marinating, and I've got a pot on the grill up at about 300 degrees. We're gonna use that to start to brown our oxtails. As that's going on, I'm gonna start prepping 2 onions, 2 tomatoes, and some garlic. And we're gonna use that as we put this in and braise everything in this liquid. But first I wanna brown these oxtails. Now I went ahead and put just a little bit of oil down in the bottom of our pan, and I have this at about 350 degrees in here. Now it's just gonna be a matter of taking some of our pieces of oxtail here and putting it right down in the bottom so these begin to brown. Now we want to do these for about 1 minute or 2 per side. What we're looking to do is get a little bit of that caramelization, and any of that fond that gets on the bottom of the pot is just going to lead to flavor when we actually use the same pot to begin to do our cooking. Now what we want to do is we just want to brown these until the bottom sides start to look like this. That has a nice fond on it. That's exactly the flavor we're looking for. So just pop that in there. We'll do each of these for a couple minutes on each side. I'm even doing some right here on the grill, and you can see they're getting the same thing. You even have grill marks on that one. That's good. Now you want to do these in small batches. What you don't want to do is get this so cold you don't get that nice sort of fond on the outside. That's exactly what we're looking for. So while we continue to brown these, we are ready to start with our liquid in here. Now I still have a little bit of that oil and a little bit of the jerk seasoning in there. And I'm just going to drop all of these onions and garlic and tomatoes in there real quick. I just want to get these to start cooking down just a bit. You see what I mean here? We're just getting this nice and charred. That's the kind of flavor we're looking for with these. We'll put this one up here. These are starting, ooh. Don't grab the pot when it's been in the grill, that's stupid. Now our onions, tomato, and garlic have been in here for just a couple minutes along with the oil and some of the fat from those, so they're starting to render down softer. I'm now going to go ahead and start popping in our oxtail that's nice and at this fond on it. Let's start with a couple of these big pieces. We'll get them right down in the bottom. Remember, these will cook down quite a bit as some of that fat renders off of these guys. And to that, we want to add our liquid. I just put a little bit of water in this bowl as well. That's that jerk seasoning we were putting there. We just want all of that flavor from here, so I'm going to scrape in any excess jerk seasoning there is. And we just want to add a little bit of water till we're about covering the oxtail. That's sort of the amount we want to put in there. It's going to be very close to the top of this. Now we're going to let this come up to a simmer, and when it starts simmering a little too much, we're going to turn it down. This is going to just slow simmer for 2 to 3 hours. We're going to mix this up as we go. Close it up, we'll check back in an hour. All right, so it's been on now for about 1.5 hours. We're going to open this up, pull the lids off, and take a look and see what it looks like. All right, let's open this up and take a look. Now, first things first, I know these are going to be crazy hot, so we're going to pull that off this way. Whew. Now you'll notice there's 2 pots. I decided to separate these just given the volume that was in this. I had some extra vegetables I wanted to make sure went in there. So I need to add a little bit more liquid in here. There is still liquid in, but it's getting a little reduced here. Pull one of these guys out and just take a look here for a second.
Over here. Yeah, right here. Hey, do me a favor. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more like it, subscribe to the channel and click on that little bell notification so you get notified of new videos. Thanks.
Still a little bit tough, so we got to give a little bit more liquid to this. I had all of my jerk season in this one with some vegetables and all the oxtail. About 30 minutes into it, I decided to go ahead over here and saute the rest of the vegetables I had and then add in about half the tails over here. And I just put water in this, so this is going to be a much milder jerk flavor than the ones over here. All right, I'm gonna get some water, add it to each of these, and let these continue to go. Look at the color on these guys. With that jerk seasoning in there, that is amazing looking. Whew. And the meat's still tough. This has quite a ways to go. This one's getting a little bit gelatinous, but not too much. We're just gonna pour some hot water in here. You just don't want it to all evaporate. Want to keep on braising this. And we'll just put our lid right back on here. All right, y'all, so it's been about 3 hours and 10 minutes since we first put these into the pots with the liquid in them, not when we started browning them. We're gonna open these up and check them out. And I wanna tell you, every 45 minutes or so, I would come out here, take the lid off of them, stir them up, and I would add a little bit more water. I wanted to make sure the oxtails remained just barely submerged. I took this temperature down to about 350 midway through it, and that's kind of where this thing has been sitting. So you'll see when I open these up that it's boiling pretty good. You'll notice 2 pots. When we first started, I had one. It was a little too full. I went ahead and brought a separate one out, and I sort of spaced things out across these 2 different pots. Let's go ahead and open this guy up and check it out. Now, first couple of things. One, be ready for some scrubbing, because look at the top of that pot. Now, I'm just going to set this aside. You can see just how that's bubbling and looks amazing. And you notice on this one that I'm pulling up, you see how the center bone is pulled out in it? That means this thing is probably getting good and tender. I'm gonna pull this off and just check it out and see. But that's a decent size one. And then we even have our small pieces here. But look at that sauce. And you can see a little bit of grease on the top. Because we trimmed them, that is not excessive grease. That's actually looking pretty good. Now, you can usually use your finger to do this, but you can see just how that's coming apart. That is good and tender. Let me pull up another one and just sort of demonstrate how I'm doing this. Here, this is a big piece, you can see. If I take my fork and stick it in that, you can see how that just pulls right apart. That's exactly what we want to see. And after getting just a little bit of white rice and serving up some oxtail on top of that, with a little bit of this sauce, this jerk sauce right over the top, this looks pretty damn amazing. So let me zoom in and show you what it looks like, and then we're going to give it a taste test. Now I'll tell you, oxtail isn't known as a high-end food. It's considered a cheap cut of meat. Ironically enough, it's almost 12 bucks a pound. I wouldn't say it's cheap, but done right, this is absolutely delicious, and it will be fall off the bone tender like you wouldn't believe. The Jamaican jerk seasoning really brings it up to the next level. This is an easy dish to do. It takes a while. Like I said, prep and everything else, we're probably looking at 4 hours in total, with 15-20 minutes to prep this morning, marinate for a few hours, and then a good 3.5 hours, a good half hour searing the meat and the vegetables, and then ultimately keeping liquid in it, checking on it every 30 minutes or so. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna try a little bit of this rice with that sauce on it from the meat. It's so rich and so meaty, it's amazing. And it's got that little bite in the back of your mouth. First taste it up, doesn't taste spicy. You swallow it down and it reminds you, hey, this is Jamaican jerk. I now just grabbed a small chunk of this oxtail meat and it fell right off the bone. It's just unbelievably tender. Boom, my gosh. I really hope you give this a try. Don't be intimidated by buying oxtail. It is delicious, and cooked right, it's like a fall off the bone tender roast beef. It's amazing, amazing flavor. And the fat that's in around the tail there like that, it actually melts down into this great soft liquid collagen that flavors that whole bit of sauce. Check it out, you will like it. Safe and happy grilling, y'all. See you next week. You know it's tender when, look, you just end up with the center of the bone here. Everything else has just come right off of it. Oh man. This is the nibbling part.